What's going on, everyone? Nick from Comic Culture here. It's time for Nick at Night, my weekly comic book review show. Let's get into the books I read this week. Starting over in DC, we have Superman 28, Joshua Williamson, Dan Moore on this one. Really great place to jump in if you have not been reading Superman. This is part one of the Legion of Darkseid. So we get a little bit of a glimpse as to where Darkseid is, what he's doing right now, the armies he's amassing. There's some dialogue thrown around in there. Another book we are going to talk about here very soon in the DC world has something like that going on too. But in Superman, he's trying to get back in touch with the Legion of Superheroes, and they've been corrupted inside this issue, and they're actually on the attack right now, taking some orders from Darkseid himself. So it's going to be cool to see what this amounts to and how Superman can get out of this. How can he save his friends at the same time? It's one of those deals where he has to juggle what he's trying to uncover versus like saving his friends and everything else. Really great issue. It does tie into the Summer of Superman issue number 1 very loosely. There's like a couple little events here and there inside that book. You don't need to read that. They cover what happens in it inside the issue, so you don't really need to understand that, but it showcases a villain in there that he has to deal with at a future time, and so it's going to be kind of cool to see like how they bring all this together. But Dan Moore and Williamson are always a great addition to any book. Superman issue number 28, pretty good issue. Let me know if you guys read it. I'll jump right into the next book that had a little bit of a Darkseid sighting in it. We have Absolute Martian Manhunter issue number 5. Got that awesome cardstock variant cover right there. So Absolute Martian Manhunter, a very trippy book. Not everything is as it seems. You have to read between the lines. It's a little bit abstract, but it's a visual treat, and I'm just eating all of this up. So leading up to this issue, we have the White Martian pretty much taking over the city right now, raising the temperature, blocking out the sun. Now the shadows are at play right now, and it's really showing the dark side of everybody around. People are committing murders that they wouldn't have done otherwise, right? Everyone's tempers are flaring again because of the shadows that are at play. So really, again, it focuses on everyone's dark side and what they do when no one's looking and behind the scenes. And it's a pretty great issue. It's very head trippy. It does have that Ice Cream Man or Assorted Crisis Events vibe baked into this. And it's a DC proper book too. So it's interesting to see all those different blends come together inside of here. We talked about the art before. The color palette alone in the story is spectacular. Javier Rodriguez is one of the best guys doing it right now, and it's just a visual treat every single issue we get from him. Now, like the evilness behind the White Martian, it's been very abstract so far. The Martians in general have been very abstract, but the White Martian is kind of special in his abilities and whatnot, and the root of all of his evil, and we explore that a little bit more in here, and I'm excited to see where it goes and what it amounts to over time. But I am anxious to see more of these books crossing over. I would love to see some of the Absolute books like Wonder Woman and Batman and whatnot crossing over, I think in December. That's going to be really cool. Where's Martian Manhunter going to be this whole time? I don't know, but I cannot wait to see more of this stuff coming together very, very soon. Martian Manhunter, let me know if you guys read this one down below. All right, let's get into Absolute Wonder Woman. We have issue number 10 right there. Again, another great cardstock cover I picked up this week. One of my favorite books out right now. I said it over and over again, but it rings true every single month that this book comes out. They took the core of Diana. They plucked it out of the proper universe. They throw it in this Absolute universe. They throw all this tainted elements around her, but she still holds true to her core values and everything, and that's what's really awesome about this character. We're entering the maze right now. We got a tip of some shady things going on in this underworld setting, and so we are diving into the abyss, into the labyrinth right now, and trying to save people that are being experimented on or corrupted or whatever it might be, answering the siren's call inside of this issue. And we have a very, very powerful opponent that uses like hypnotics and things like that to make Diana basically their captive, and she's having to go through all those trials right now to escape. So it's a visual treat. It's still really true to Diana's core, and it's a really nice breath of fresh air for the Diana character, because I love this book so much more than the proper Diana book that we have right now from King and team, and this one's just a visual treat, guys. I love this issue so much. Absolute Wonder Woman, let me know if you're reading it. All right, that's it for DC. Let's go over to Mad Cave next. Vanishing Point, issue number 3, Mark Russell on this one. So it's kind of like a Twilight Zones type of a series right now, an anthology series with Mark Russell still at the writing duties. We have a different artist for every issue. The first 2 issues were okay. I think I enjoyed issue number 1 a little bit more in retrospect. Issue number 3 was actually really interesting. And it's a combination of a lot of different things. It's set way far into the future. Humanity has evolved over time. We actually interacted with a bunch of different aliens, made them our captives, experimented on them, did a lot of cross-genetic kind of things, and we've been evolving over time. And it's interesting to see how that messes with like the human psyche and our psychology and even like our humanity and how we approach the world and how indifferent everything is. So it really does put humanity on a pedestal, and everything else underneath that is kind of free to be experimented upon and tested on and integrated with, things like that. So it's really a essay on humanity in general, I would say. Once you get to a certain point, you think you're just like the supreme being and you have free reign on everything below you. Interesting perspective on there for sure. The book is heavy in narration, but we do follow a couple characters, some prisoners, some guards. There's the people that are running this facility in general, and it does a great job of like laying down the tone on top of what you visually see throughout the issue. A little bit of hope sprinkled in at the end as well, left open for interpretation, which is just fine with me. Vanishing Point, issue number 3, the best book of the series so far, I think. Let me know what you guys thought. Let's go over to Dynamite next, man. We have Space Ghost Annual issue number 1. David Papo's on this one and Jonathan Lau on the art. Continuing every single thing I love about Space Ghost in this annual right here. A great place to jump in if you have not been reading it yet. It does put an end cap on some of the events that were going on so far. A lot of the villains that were introduced in the first volume, they're going to be shown inside of here. Testing Space Ghost and his team to the limits. What are they going to do? How are they going to team up? How are they going to overcome the odds? Of course, we tackle it inside of here, but it also sets up where the future of the story is going to be going with the same creative team. So if you liked what you saw inside of volume number 1, definitely get the annual, kind of puts an end cap on that, pushes us in the direction for volume number 2, I think a relaunch for number 1, and I cannot wait to see where this story goes. Again, it's one of my favorite books of the year last year, and I am just so excited to see where we go from here. So Space Ghost Annual, we have issue number 1. Definitely check it out. Maybe not required reading, but I would highly recommend going back and reading volume 1, jumping in on volume 2 when they relaunch it. Space Ghost, one of the best books out there, guys. Let me know if you read it. While we're talking about Papos, let's talk about Captain Planet and the Planeteers issue number 2, another Dynamite book. Awesome, awesome book, guys. So Papos has the same vibe in Captain Planet as he does in Space Ghost. It's a little bit more mature, it's more serious, it's more grounded despite all the powers and the absurdity of the story itself. But he's taken these books really seriously, which I really appreciate. So many times you would pick up a property like Captain Planet or Space Ghost, and it could be hacky, it could be, funny or whatever it might be, but it's going to lose the point. I want a little bit more serious adult kind of a book, and that's exactly what we're getting inside of Captain Planet and Space Ghost. So if you always wanted that Captain Planet, more mature type of a story, you got it here. What's also really impressive is he's captured the voice of all the characters, I think, perfectly. I remember watching the cartoon when I was a kid, loved it and everything. All the characters are coming together in this issue and exploring their different power sets. They don't get along, but they have to become a team to take on the odds. That's what we get inside of here, and I love the approach he takes with all the different characters. Casalos is on the art, which is serviceable for the story, but the beats of the story, the vibe of the story itself, the maturity of it is what's got me super excited about more Captain Planet. We have issue number 2 out. Let me know if you read it. As you would have guessed it, we have a ton of Image books. We have Exquisite Corpses issue number 3 out this month as well. So my interest in the story in general is going down and down with every issue, I would say. I liked issue number 1, the double-sized nature of it, setting up the world and everything, the different players that are part of this game. I thought that was really cool. Issue number 2 was kind of a step back, I thought, to be honest. So, like, we had some murders, some kills, some exciting moments here and there, a lot of drama between all the rich families and whatnot, but I didn't feel like connected to a lot of the characters and whatnot. And some of the characters that are not involved in the games, we didn't really see a lot of them in issue number 2, but we see them in issue number 3, the paramedics and whatnot, the ones that got warning to get out of town, that woman right there. But issue number 3 kind of continues more of the same. We didn't really get that issue number 3 explanation or big push forward in the story itself. We got more of the same that we had in 2 and 1, which is fine. The interest level is still steady, kind of going down though, I would say. So nothing really happened to get my excitement up inside of issue number 3, which was a missed opportunity, I think. Now, I'm not saying there wasn't some brutal moments here and there. Of course there was inside the book. It's all about killers killing each other. So of course you're going to get those moments. I'm talking about the overall execution itself, I would say. Like, nothing is making me really excited for issue number 4, I would say. And that's kind of a problem, I think, for this series right here. Issue number 3 is out. I want to know your thoughts though. Let me know down below. Let's go over to Ghost Machine for the next couple books. We have Geiger issue number 16, kind of cleaning up the story arc between the nuclear woman and Geiger himself. So, of course, we have a lot of commentary from the doctor and whatnot that was in here who kind of created both of these characters in a way, trying to help them, trying to redeem the mistakes of the past he made with Geiger. And so it's kind of cool to see his perspective about what is going on in here. Geiger, keeping our doctor/scientist in captivity right now, trying to fix Joe. He got disabled during an EMP during the last battle with the army and whatnot, so he's put up to the impossible task of dealing with the potential loss of Geiger's best friend right here. We get a guest artist on here, still doing amazing artwork. I would say we have Iman Winkle doing the arts, and we have Ratman on the colors as well. Just doing an incredible job, I would say, filling in the gaps while our main creative team is out at the moment. The story still has those emotional beats and everything that you would expect from the Geiger universe. And I think they handled the art shift pretty well inside the story. A lot of great moments in here, amazing coloring and everything. So it's more of the same, which is always a great story for Geiger right there. Let me know if you guys read this one down below. All right, I told you we had 2 Ghost Machine books. We have Rockefellers issue number 7, Peter Tomasi on this one. This book has been in the hot seat for a long time. I think I've given it a fair shot, I would say. I don't want to drop the story. I feel like there's something really great there, but we're 7 issues in at this point, and I really don't feel like I know where the story is going. This issue took us into the past. We understood a little bit about the rift in the family. One of our villains is a family member, we find out a few issues ago. And this is a backstory on how that rift started and just a difference in ideology. Like AI is an important thing. There's companies that are fighting for the right for it and everything like that, and how to develop it more quickly and how to utilize it appropriately, and they're attacking each other. So there's going to be a difference in ideology and just family bickering, like what happened at the Thanksgiving table, man. So I just don't know how I feel about the origin of the rift between our characters right here, and I don't know if I care about learning more about it. That's where we are with Rockefellers right now. Interesting concept. Johnny Quest kind of a story. We have some killers thrown into there and everything, time travel, cool science being done, episodic issues left and right, but there's no real driving force for like an antagonist, which really bums me out, I would say. And even when we get it, the origin story isn't great. It's kind of annoying, to be honest with you. So I don't know where I sit with Rockefellers right now. Did you guys read this one? Let me know what you guys thought. Kirk Pierre's on Lost Fantasy. We have a giant size issue number 3. So you definitely get your money's worth when it comes to this one right here. $5 issue, but they're usually double length, which is really cool. So I would say that if you're into sci-fi fantasy books, if you like a magical element, hunting beasts, things like that, you're really going to dig this book. It's a combination of a lot of familiar things. There's some mindworm stuff in this issue, which is pretty cool, like some psychic booby traps when our hero team tries to investigate this murder or try to figure out what's going on in this certain town. Speaking of the town, we have these really powerful regimes all across the world that represent different parts of the magical world, like werewolves are your purview over here, or maybe vampires are yours, or something like that, right? There's this whole cabal of people that are overseeing everything, and so they might be playing games with each other and trying to step on each other's territory. I think that's going to be developing as we go through Lost Fantasy in subsequent issues. I will say I did find myself a little bit lost, no pun intended, a little bit inside the issue when they brought up characters that we haven't seen since issue number 1. And so these giant size issues are great, but at the cadence they're coming out and everything, I lose the narrative just a little bit, but that's probably just on me. Art-wise, it's really bold, it's rugged, the coloring is really flashy and everything, and it's just a good use of the magical elements and everything. So I think artistically the book is pretty solid. Story is really cool. There's a lot of detail to it, a lot of depth and everything. You can really unpack a lot of different things inside of here. A lot of cool characters and everything, backgrounds. They feel developed. They feel familiar and like worth your time, I would say. So Lost Fantasy issue number 3, not a bad issue at all. Let me know if you guys read this one down below. Next up from Wes Craig, we have Kaya issue number 28, the continuation of the drama between Kaya and Razel and Jin, her brother. It's just been a great read, and I'm just eating all of this up. We get amazing splash pages just to set the stage right here. There's a slave camp that they're trying to free right now, and Jin's trying to use his powers to share the plan with all of them, and Razel's kind of pulling the strings right now. You still don't know if you can trust this guy, which is just a really interesting thing. He has so many little side glances. You just don't know if he could be trusted, and that just keeps the reader engaged, I would say, pulling us forward issue to issue to see where the story will go from here. But I will say, give me the answer right now. It's been a long time, man. Quit messing with me. I need the answer to that one. But, there's a lot of talking, a lot of drama, a lot of character building, a lot of relationship dissolving and rebuilding happening inside the story at this point. But there's also this main mission of freeing all these slaves from prisons and whatnot. And so they're doing a good job of balancing all that. Artwork is really solid from Wes Craig. He does the pencils, he does the coloring and everything. Very fast read, about 19 pages or so. Pretty standard for a Kaya issue. No ads. It feels like there's nothing in here, but it'll pull at your heartstrings for sure. We have the new issue out this week. Let me know if you read it. Rick Remender and Paul Azaceta on The Seasons issue number 6 right here. So a couple of issues ago, we had the big bomb dropped on us. What is this mysterious circus coming to town? What was the warning letter to Spring about? One of her sisters, another season, sent her a warning letter saying basically, get out of town, do not interact with this circus that is coming your way, completely incapacitating and captivating everyone that it interacts with. It got her sister Summer, and apparently it got her parents as well, and it's threatening to completely take over Spring and everybody else in her family at the same time. Really great artwork. Again, if you don't like Paul Azaceta's artwork, I don't know what's wrong with you, man. It's trippy. It's great. I love it. I love the colors in here too. The story is all about family and not giving in to like the easy path and things like that. So there's a lot of cool messages behind that. The character interactions are awesome. I love the different attitudes and everything inside the story. This issue is kind of understand what our dilemma is, fight back the powers that be, get the hell out of Dodge, regroup, and figure out where we're going to go from here. That's what's happening inside of Seasons issue number 6. Let me know if you guys read this one down below. Next up is Void Rivals issue number 21. Robert Kirkman on this one. Connor Hughes filling in on the art duties right here. Art-wise, pretty solid book. Nice transition. I think Connor Hughes did an issue or two before. Cool transition, barely even noticed it, so props to the art team right there. This book is all about two different cultures basically at war forever. There was a lie that was keeping them apart. There's this prophecy for unity that we're trying to go forward with right here. We're trying to convince other people that this exists, but it's a little bit of an uncertain future. If we go in this direction, is it the ultimate destruction of both societies, or should we just keep warring and continue to live, whatever it might be? There's a downfall to acting and not acting inside this world, and we explore that a little bit. I find myself still confused even after 21 issues, like, okay, who's the good guys, who's the bad guys? This guy recently converted, he's seen the light, he understands the point of the unity now, but why is he fighting our heroes? So I feel like I'm still confused in general about certain parts of this book right here and what exactly our main objective is. Of course, then you get some Transformers that I barely remembered thrown in on the mix right here, just having a couple pages or two, talking back and forth about, what they've experienced and what they need to do going forward. And of course, you have some space battles between some fodder armies against our main characters. And again, to the part where I don't remember why they're fighting to begin with, right? I think everyone's starting to understand they need to be unified across the cultures, but like, why are they still fighting? The narrative's a little bit lost on me. And it's kind of waning, to be honest with you. There's only so much of that I can take issue after issue after issue, I would say. I like the revelation that we got recently about what this whole story is about, but I'm losing the details here and there, I would say. We have 20 plus issues of the series right now. I want to know what you guys think. Void Rivals, let me know if you read it. Then lastly, we have one of my most anticipated books. I'm so glad to have it back. We have Ice Cream Man issue number 44, the personnel file and fourth quarterly review of Craig Alabaster inside the book. Of course, he works for the big Holt company, represented in a lot of different Ice Cream Man stories. I love their tagline here, Center for Non-Discrete Corporate Activity and Discrete Manufacturing. And of course, it ties back to dairy products and the Ice Cream Man himself and everything. There's so many Easter eggs inside this book, like every other Ice Cream Man book, to past events, to past storylines, things like that, that it's a really cool game to play if you've read them all, to kind of remember what those stories were. And it's just really cool to see that they put that in the book still. But we get the president of like the Holt company right here, his daughter as well, pulling in Craig to have this quarterly review, but talk about some events that happened, some incidents that happened inside the workplace. He apparently is a complete psychopath and hallucinating, tripping on everything. Probably the environment itself is poisoning his psyche, and he's acting out on everyone right now. There was the infamous chainsaw incident. There was a point where he was standing in front of the copier, just watching it and counting all these different copies coming out, and he's snapping on employees that are walking up to him. He's a very troubled individual. He's on display right now, and the Holt leadership is eating him up, saying, we love this. We want more of this. We're going to be promoting you to like senior level management and things like that. So it's kind of like the exact opposite of what you would expect in a situation like this. It's taken it to the extreme. It plays on the sickness of Ice Cream Man in general and how the Holt company itself is just twisted in general. So I'm eating all of that up. I really liked it a lot. If you worked in a corporate setting, it's like especially resonating with you, I would say. So maybe that's why it hit so hard. But anyways, Ice Cream Man issue number 44. It's always a treat when we get these issues out. So glad we got it this month. Let me know if you guys read it. All right, guys, that's what I read this week. I hope you enjoyed that. Let me know what you read and what your favorite books of the week were down below. While you're down there, like, subscribe, share, hit that bell notification to be alerted whenever I put out new videos. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you in the comments.